I do want to talk about a couple of the games that currently we are playing in the rotation that sadly just haven't caught on, because I'm curious why. You know, as a creator, as a streamer of video games, I want to know why something isn't working. That's what I'm wondering about, like why it hasn't caught on this channel. I'm really shocked that Pragmata isn't doing well, because it really is the kind of game that I thought would resonate. That's the kind of game that back in the day when I used to cover, you know, every major release, I would have played a game like Pragmata, and it absolutely would have done well on DSP Gaming ages ago. So I don't know what's changed that now people don't like this game. I'm actually shocked and scratching my head. Should we just talk about it now? I wanted to do some Q&A, but maybe we should just get to talk about these games out of the way now. There's two games right now that I'm playing that I like a lot, that I personally am really enjoying the playthroughs of. And I want to play more, and I'm craving more, but sadly, they're just not resonating with the audience, okay? And those games are very much, number one, Pragmata from Capcom, and number two, Vampire Crawlers, which is the game that just came out a week ago from the makers of Vampire Survivors. Before someone idiotically makes the suggestion that the reason that they're not catching on my channel is because I didn't play them right away when they released, that's a lie. I played Pragmata on release day, and I played Vampire Crawlers only a few days after it had originally come out. So that's just a false narrative. I am playing them very timely. Pragmata. This is a game with great graphics, for the record. Like, I think that the graphics are outstanding. Again, the RE engine, which is the Reach engine, just looks amazing, right? Photorealistic stuff. The gameplay. The gunplay very much reminds me of Dead Space, except instead of shooting limbs and stuff, you're shooting weak points that you hack. As the game advances, more and more stuff becomes possible. Like, for example, advanced hacking that will freeze the enemies or hack multiple enemies at once so you can hit them all at once when they're all opened and have their weaknesses exposed. The gameplay loop is good. Now, that's only one part of the gameplay loop, the combat. The other half is exploration, platforming, and puzzle solving. And it's all good. Like, there's tons of puzzles in this game that are intuitive and interesting. None of them are overly complicated, but if you take your time to look around the environments, you can find endless amounts of logs that give you additional supplemental story. And that's good because it won't overstay its welcome. You know, it'll stay fresh the entire time I'm playing it and never feel stale, because it hasn't yet. Like, it doesn't feel stale. Every time I play, I'm unlocking a new weapon, a new thing in the hacking, right? Leveling up, doing challenges and stuff. It's fun. Everything I just described to you would sound to me like that's the perfect package for a great game. And in fact, just the other day, someone asked me, what's the difference between Pragmata and Crimson Desert? And I said, in Crimson Desert, it has all this gameplay, but none of it means anything. Because there's no plot you actually like. There's no characters you actually learn to grow or love. It's essentially just play gameplay for gameplay's sake and waste all your time. To me, especially 18 years in the business, doing playthroughs, covering games, this sounds to me like a great game. Okay, being honest with you. Like, I really like Pragmata. So why isn't this game resonating with the audience? And what I mean by that is, the first stream did well. After that, it just fizzled out. Attendance started to dwindle. Engagement, people would come and not even talk about the game at all. And support hasn't been awful, but also hasn't been great. It's landed somewhere in the middle. So that's why I've continued to play it. It's not like, oh, this is a huge disaster game or whatever, and no one likes it. There is an audience, but I'm shocked that this brand new game, by the way, sold well for Capcom for a new IP, and the fact that it didn't get tons of hype and hoopla, it actually sold pretty well. Exactly what is going on with this game that people don't like it or aren't liking it as much? Opinions. I'd like to hear people's opinions. So Amu says, maybe since it's so short, we've seen other people already get through it. Amus, that's all well and good. No one comes to DSP Gaming to rush to see a game. 10, 15 years ago, yes, people came to DSP Gaming because I was the guy that ran to GameStop, bought the game, put it into my console, and immediately played through it in 2 days. No one comes to DSP Gaming for that anymore in 2026. So that's just, okay. People come here to see me play a game and give my honest take on it. Some people do that, and that's why always there's an inflation of views and attention on part one of any playthrough I do, stream-wise and videos-wise. And then some people continue to watch the playthrough while others don't. And that's what I found, is that most people have not followed through and watched the other streams. They just watched the first one. A part of it is people come for chat interaction. The last few streams have been weird. What do you mean? Daddy Big Buck says, I only tune in for games I'm interested in. I tend to gravitate towards older games. Fair enough, but that has nothing to do with this game. That doesn't explain why people aren't here for the hot new game. It's just your case, but that's not, in general, that's not really applicable here. But I'm not the guy who rushes through a game, and everyone knows that. No one comes to DSP Gaming for that, so that doesn't apply. But now the other game. And this one irks me, and here's why. For years and years and years and years, everyone said, Phil, really, you're so short-sighted. You're so limited in the games that you cover. You only play big games, AAA releases that come out on console. You literally play only the big AAAs. You don't play any of the cool indie games, any of the hyped games, any of the viral games. You skip them all. And instead, you just play the big stuff. And that's why your stuff gets boring and played out, right? And I'm like, okay, fine. So now I'm a PC gamer. Now I have the ability to play any game I want, and I do. Like, we play tons of these indie games now in the rotation. Every week we're playing a new one pretty much, you know, or sometimes the last 2 or 3 weeks because they're longer. This week, the game that we started playing was Vampire Crawlers. Okay, why did we play it? Well, it came out a week ago on Tuesday. I didn't play it exactly on Tuesday. I played it a few days later, but we still played it. Okay, it's an interesting game that combines gameplay elements from other indie games that are roguelikes. It combines elements from, say, Mega Bonk with Slay the Spire. It's got gothic horror. It's got cool graphics that are throwback graphics to Castlevania, and it's got a kicking soundtrack. And it's not doing that well. I played it twice, and both streams, one person supported a ton, and outside of that, half the chat would complain that the game is boring. And, you know, it was very slow support outside of one person dropping a lot of money. The truth is, it's not supposed to be like that. It's supposed to be, hey, people are coming and everyone's kind of enjoying and they like the content and they want to see it continue. So then they support the stream. It's not supposed to be one person drops a ton and is financing a game, right? And that's the truth. Like, I don't want that. That's happened a few times with certain games like Baldur's Gate 3 and or Truck Sim and stuff like that. And overall, it just doesn't work. You want a game that's resonating with the entire audience, right? I'm curious what is going on, Vampire Crawlers, that people don't like it. Is it that it has an 8-bit graphic style? Is it that it's another roguelike card game and people just don't like those? Because the thing is, the game is doing well. The game has a good player base. Like, for example, Vampire Crawlers has about 20 to 40,000 people playing it at all times. That's a pretty good player base for an indie game like this. It ain't 500,000. You also have to understand that Vampire Crawlers is not just on Steam. It's actually on Game Pass. So probably a significant amount of people are playing it on Game Pass because they don't want to buy it. So even though it says 20,000 there, it's probably like 30,000+. But again, I've played it twice and I don't understand why people don't show up for it. Again, there's always been people yelling at me saying, you're not doing what you should be doing. You're not playing variety. You're not playing indie. We want you to play these smaller, digestible experiences that aren't going to be super lengthy playthroughs. We want you to be, you know, jumping around, trying new games. I'm literally doing that right now. So what gives with Vampire Crawlers that people don't like it? And let's be honest, very low development cost. If you're making a game in that graphic style, it means the graphics are insanely easy to produce and put on any kind of platform. Rose Diamond says you struggle to get an audience with a game that lacks a consistently paced story. When you play more non-narrative heavy games, you tend to have a lot of dead air due to no story to react to. So I think I'll agree with you there. So yeah, so here's the deal. I've played 2 streams of Vampire Crawlers. Last night's stream, I saw a shocking fall off of attendance. Like, we didn't even have 200 viewers. Even though I liked it and I was kicking ass. I was 100% whooping butt. One person contributed over $80 to the stream. And we did okay. The stream was a decent stream. I can't expect that this guy's going to show up to every Vampire Crawler stream and drop giant contributions. I just can't. And being that we've done 2 streams of the game and already the attendance has completely fallen off and all the support is coming from one guy, I think we got to kind of move on. So I think, honestly, I'm going to finish Pragmata because Pragmata we've already played so far into, it would be really stupid to not finish it. Okay? But as for Vampire Crawlers, I hate to say it, I do think that that's it for it. All right?